You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Good morning, Sprouts. It's Father K back with you to answer one more question during this Holy Week. Today's Good Friday, where we remember Jesus' death on the cross. Hopefully you're able to celebrate this day by making the Stations of the Cross, praying the sorrowful mysteries of the Rosary, and spending some time in prayer, remembering what Jesus did for us. Now, today's question is another interesting one. The question is, where was Jesus after Good Friday and before Easter Sunday? Where did he go? Well, we know that his body was in the tomb, but where was his soul? Well, there's a little hint, and I think we can find a clue in the Apostles' Creed. Maybe you say the Apostles' Creed before you pray the Rosary. It's a little bit different than the one we pray at Mass, but you remember this part. I believe in Jesus Christ, his only begotten Son, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, who was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell, and on the third day he rose again from the dead. He descended into hell. Oh, so that's where Jesus was. Why would Jesus go down to hell? Well, when we use the word hell here, we mean not the hell where Satan and all the devils and the bad people are, but there was a hell that people would go to before the gates of heaven were open. Because that's one of the things that Jesus came to do, to open the gates of heaven for human beings. Before that, they were closed to the race of men when Adam first sinned. And nobody could get there, even if they were a really, really, really good person. They couldn't get into heaven because the gates were closed. And only Jesus, who was God, but also man, could open them. So where did all those people go? Those people who believed in God's promise of the Messiah, of Jesus who is coming. Well, they went to a place where we can call it hell, and is really on maybe the very edge of the fiery part of hell. And that's where Jesus went. And what did he do there? Well, he went to bring them home. He went to preach the gospel to them and bring them to heaven. There's a very old homily that I'd like to read part of that gives us a secret look inside what Jesus was doing after he died. It goes like this. What is happening? Today there's a great silence over the earth, a great silence and stillness, a great silence because the King sleeps. The earth was in terror and was still because God slept in the flesh and raised up those who were sleeping from the ages. God has died in the flesh, and the underworld has trembled. Truly, he goes to seek out our first parent like a lost sheep. He wishes to visit those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death. He goes to free the prisoner Adam and his fellow prisoner Eve from their pains. He who is God and Adam's son. The Lord goes. He goes into them holding his victorious weapon, his cross. When Adam, the first created man, sees him, he strikes his breast in terror and calls out. And Christ replies to Adam, and grasping his hand, he raises him up, saying, Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give you light. I am your God, who for your sake became your son, who for you and your descendants now speak and command with authority to those in prison, come forth, and to those in darkness, have light, and those who sleep, arise. That's what Jesus was doing after he died, but before he rose. And it's with great hope and confidence that we know that as we try to follow Jesus closely and love him with our whole heart and mind and strength, that he will come and deliver us after we die. So as we enter into this Good Friday and the waiting period of Holy Saturday, and then the long awaited resurrection of Easter, we pray that the Lord would draw us ever closer to him. May God bless you.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.